Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builders Supply, and this video is to bring you a closer look at the Bommer number LB8001-400-605. This is a nice piece of hardware from Bommer. It's not often that I get to review something architecturally more pleasant, meaning, you know, it's a 3-knuckle concealed bearing, it's solid brass, it's a nice finish. Anyway, let's dissect the part number. LB stands for lube bearing, which is a concealed maintenance-free bearing construction from Bommer that you're going to see on their 3-knuckle hinges, whether it be a standard butt hinge like this or a spring-loaded hinge. Those will be LB. The 8001 means a number of things. First of all, the 8 means 3-knuckle. 3-knuckle and LB go hand in hand. You wouldn't have a BB 8 because BB is ball bearing. That would be on a 5000 or a 5-knuckle hinge. The 001, that's going to mean that this is a full mortise hinge. You can see from the swag on the hinge leaf that when the leaves are brought parallel, they're meant to be mortised flush to the edge of the door and frame. It means that it is a standard weight hinge. You're going to be 130 thousandths on the leaf thickness of this hinge. And it's also going to mean that it's a solid brass base item. Although that's not really inferred. It's inferred that it's either brass or bronze, but we'll get to that in a moment. The 400 in the part number means that this hinge is 4-inch tall, and the height is always the first dimension, and 4-inch wide. The 605 means two things. It means, first of all, that this is a non-ferrous base material, and specifically, it's solid brass, not bronze, and that it is in a polished finish with a lacquer over it. There is a link below this video to a document called Cut Sheet, which allows you to review the dimensions of the screw holes. This is considered a template pattern, and a 4x4 would certainly be appropriate for an 1 3/4 inch thick door. It also gives you, in the lower left-hand corner, a table, columns and rows, that allow you to see how the part numbers change as things change on the hinge. So for instance, steel column, that's a 5000, that's a 5010, that's an 8000, it's a BB 5000, and so on and so forth. You can see how that last digit changes when it becomes a non-ferrous base material, brass or bronze. And you can see how it changes to a number 2 if it's a stainless base material. The 5010 or 5011 or 5012, those are wide throw hinges. You can see how that dimensional chart changes because those hinges are wider than they are tall. Then it gets your 8000, 3-knuckle, plain bearing hinge, etc. You can see how the rest of the part numbers change. Now, this hinge is for medium weight doors of average frequency, brass base hinge with a stainless steel pin, template and lube bearing 3-knuckle. This is a removable style pin. You can drive that pin out should you need to. That would be appropriate for a door that was in swing if it was an exterior door. You would certainly want to opt for the non-removable pin should this be an exterior door that swung out, because you don't want someone to be able to drive that pin out and easily get in to the opening. This hinge specifically features a flush pin and plug sort of construction at the top and bottom. Again, it's 130 thousandths thick. We said that was template pattern, and speaking of the holes, screws are included. Those are also solid brass screws, so be careful when you are tightening them. Brass is a much softer material than steel is, so be cautious. Options can be done with this sort of material in terms of decorative tips, in terms of security options. There's a link below this video to the manufacturer's page where you can pull up the full line Bommer catalog. And if you are not familiar with Bommer, by all means familiarize yourself with them. Their name is synonymous with double acting spring hinges and every variation that is possible, single acting spring hinges, and then of course their full line of institutional, architectural, commercial, residential hinges, and along with other things that they get into as well that are neat and specific only to them. The last thing I'd like to point out to you is the Bommer logo, and right above it it says Made in USA, a fact that Bommer is quite proud of, as am I to represent them. If you have any questions on the Bommer, LB8001-400-605, full mortise, 3-knuckle, lube bearing, solid brass, polished brass finish, hinge, standard weight, or any other Bommer product, please feel free to reach out to us. Thank you.